Hey everybody, and welcome to the Show Up Show. This is episode 2. I am your host, Evan T. Cook. To learn more about me and the work that I do, please visit evantcook.com. Let's jump right into this one. So today is a great way to build off episode 1, which we were talking about the beginner's mindset, which is this idea that you're not going to know everything when you first start, and that's cool. And you're not supposed to be very good when you start, and that's cool. A key piece of the beginner's mindset is asking yourself, well, what can I learn? It's going into it fresh with a fresh, open mind, knowing that you don't really know anything, and then trying to figure it out from there. Well, today we're going to build off that a little bit and talk about something similar. We're going to look at the growth versus the fixed mindset. Now, this is a concept that comes from the work of Dr. Carol Dweck. What she identified is there are these two key defining sort of mindsets that we can approach in how we view our world. Let's first look at the fixed. So the fixed mindset I would be curious to know, when you think of a fixed mindset, what immediately comes to mind? Well, for me, it's this idea of this finite skill, that what I have is all that I'll ever have. Right? I've been endowed with a certain amount of intelligence, a certain amount of athletic ability, a certain amount of a capacity to do whatever. I'll never be able to learn. And to really segue from the beginner's mindset to this fixed mindset, where a beginner is, well, what can I learn? The fixed mindset wants nothing to do with that. It's, I can't learn, or I'll never be able to do that, or there's no room for that because this is what I have. The growth mindset, on the other hand, it's, I can learn. And it's this place of understanding that, again, I'm not going to know everything, but I need to dive in and do the work to figure out what I can do. I may not know it now, but I can learn. That's the key. Fixed, I can't learn. Growth, I can learn. Two very subtle changes, a one-word change from can to cannot, but it completely changes how you view your world. Another key factor that comes into play here is, I just mentioned doing the work. Well, if you're coming at it from the fixed mindset, any effort or hard work that you're putting in is pretty much considered a failure. You've already lost, because if you have to work hard, you weren't supposed to have it in the first place. Again, hard work is not in the vocabulary of someone with a fixed mindset. Again, it's because it's, why bother? Why work hard? I'm never going to be able to do it, so why should I put in any hard effort? Why should I try to figure this out? Again, the growth mindset, on the other hand, is acknowledging that hard work and effort are all part of the process. You need to put some skin in the game to actually figure out what it is that you're good at. And ultimately, you're going to figure out what you're not good at. And that's okay. It's not a matter of being good or not of something. It's actually going in to figure it out. It's, well, let's find out what I can do. It's acknowledging that my capabilities are inherently unknown until I actually go out and try to figure it out. Right? Some believe that geniuses were just born that way. Well, for most people, that wasn't the case. We look at, often reference in this is Michael Jordan, right? One of the greatest basketball players to ever play the game. He wasn't born great. I mean, sure, there was some natural inclination that he was able to capitalize on, but if he didn't show up and do the work every single day, well, we might not know the Michael Jordan that we've all known and grown to love over the years, right? And maybe in your opinions of Michael Jordan aside, I mean, you can't hide the fact that he was an amazing ball player, all right? So when I say known to grow in love, I mean, at the very least, the skill in what he did for the basketball game, all right? So it's important to understand too, right? So now that you have an idea of what these two mindsets are, what are we to do about it? Well, the good news is it's a choice. It might not be a conscious choice, or it might not have been for you in the past, but that's okay. Now I'm telling you that you do have a choice. But first, you have to acknowledge and become aware of how you're viewing the world. All right? There may be a lot of areas in your life where you do have a growth mindset and you are okay with figuring things out, and that's great. And there may be areas where you are a bit fixed. And sometimes those might be okay. Those might actually be working for you. All right? I don't know what your current situation is, but the important thing is to become aware. Because then when you become aware, you can take a step back and create a little bit of space. And in that space, you can analyze and reflect on, well, is what I'm doing, is this actually serving me? Is this getting me anywhere closer to what I want to do or who I want to be or the things I want to attain? And depending on your answer, you get to choose from there. Now, I fully recognize that there is a certain degree of a growth mindset required to actually make a choice from the fixed to the growth. And now that you know that you do have a choice, I leave that up to you. There's nothing I can say or do that will make you go one way or the other. And again, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with either. But it's up to you to figure out, is what I'm doing serving me? Is what I'm doing getting me to where I want to be? And in most cases, that growth mindset, that being okay with, oh, I don't know everything now, but I will eventually, that's usually the more powerful way to show up. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Show Up Show. This was episode 2 where we talked all about the growth versus the fixed mindset. Again, this is something coming from the work of Dr. Carol Dweck. She has a great book out called Mindset where you can look at all sorts of other information about that. This was very, very high level, just to give you an introduction, and hopefully from this, you'll begin looking at certain areas of your life where, well, maybe I was fixed there, and having more of a growth mindset will actually be somewhat beneficial. Again, that's up to you. I do hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed making this for you. We'll see you soon.